Hi everyone, Dennis Foley from Acoustic Fields. Today we're going to talk about the room again, of course. What else will we talk about? I'm going to be the room defendant, okay? And we're going to frame this as prosecutor and defendant. I'm going to defend the room, okay? Because the room is blind. It only sees energy. So we've got to focus on that particular area, okay? So we must defend the room from all prosecutors. What is a prosecutor? Room modes. Oh my God. The worst of all prosecutors. We can't have any slack here. No probation. They have to get a life sentence. They have to go. Because their impact is so profound. I mean, they can actually keep us from hearing parts of the music that we're playing and presenting. Now, that's a serious offender, okay? They can also exaggerate certain frequencies, which produces, bass boom. There's a common term that people use, and that's a mode. So we got to get rid of them. They can't be allowed in the room. We have to treat them, okay? Reflections, we can give a little bit more flexibility here with reflections because some people like higher reverberation times. They like a more lively presentation. A lot of mix engineers don't. They prefer less reverberation so they can hear more of the music and less room sound. What they're really saying is they want to hear more vocals because reverberation really has a negative impact on the mix with voice. So that's what they're doing. Diffusion is the ultimate freedom. When we have the axial modes and the reflections, axial and the tangential modes treated, then diffusion comes in and gives us really the ultimate freedom. If you've never been in a room with proper diffusion, quadratics, the only proper type, I don't care what they say on the internet, you can't have a diffuse sound field within a room unless you satisfy some very rigid criteria. Physics is the law, everything else is a suggestion, okay? So diffusion is really the ultimate freedom. We must match the usage to the room size. We have to take responsibility here for usage and room size and volume. Too many times I see a 5-member band, full instrumentation, drums, guitar, bass, in a shoebox or a closet. So you got to take some personal responsibility here. You got to find a balance between usage and size, okay? What's a given that we should always look for? Higher ceiling heights. The ceiling height is the lowest of the 3 dimensions. It's the smallest of the 3 dimensions, creates the most problems. No recess until we get a final verdict. So we got no rest for the wicked, and the good don't deserve it. We must keep going with this process because everything we do builds upon the step before it. When we build rooms from the ground up, I have a checklist now. It's over 200 items, and they're all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 200. And I won't go to 2 unless 1 is satisfied. I won't go to 3 unless 1 and 2 are satisfied. I won't go to 4 unless 1, 2, or 3 are satisfied. It's very analytical approach, but it's the kind of care and attention you have to make to give the guarantees and performance that we give, okay? So what's the final situation? We sit in the chair, we press play, and all we hear is the music. We don't think about the room. So we resolve our modal issues, we treat our reflections, and then we add diffusion to make the room sound larger. So it's a step-by-step process. It's complicated, I know. It's not easy. I'm trying the best I can to simplify things and make it easy to understand. But there is no one-size-fits-all, and get away from that, please. There's a lot of companies out there say, just do this, just do that, or it's easy. Whenever I hear those 2 phrases, just do this, just do that, or it's easy, turn around and run the other way, okay? It's not that easy. And it's not, it's not step by step in that way. You have to build. It's like taking the stairs. You have to take it one step at a time if you want to go up. You want to go down, you can skip steps, I suppose. But when you're going up, it's one step at a time. And every step you take is the direct result of the step before it. And that's what you have to realize here. So I'm always going to defend the room because it only sees energy. And energy is pretty easy to understand if you understand the physics behind it. And that's where the rub occurs for me. You know, taking the complicated physics and putting it in simple form that people can understand. Hope these videos go a long way towards that goal. Hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. We also have a newsletter that you can subscribe to, so please do that because we offer special price discounts to only those on our newsletter. And then don't forget about our forum. We have started a forum on our own website where people ask questions, and I usually get a chance every couple of days to look at it. There's an interchange between people on the forum, and we'll give you real answers on a regular basis, so that'll help you. Thank you.